Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 14 of the Force Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Josiah Ward. With me today is Brad. How you doing?
Hello.
Sweet. Rob could not make it today. I wish he could. We were going to record on Sunday. I had stuff going on, so it just didn't work out this weekend. So he'll be back next week with the Sports Podcast for sure, so stay tuned.
All right.
But we got some Star Wars topics to talk about today. Not a lot. It's a slow news week.
Yeah, it is.
And so we're going to talk about some Star Wars topics. We're going to also do some email questions, which we got several that are really good.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also going to do a game.
New game.
Game.
It's going to be fun. You're all going to like this.
Yeah, it's a new segment we have, and it's called Pitch Wars, where we pitch ideas. We compete to pitch ideas of a video game or a movie or book or whatever. So stick around for that. That'll be at the end of the show.
Yep.
It'll be a lot of fun. Right. Can't wait.
Real quick, by the way.
Yes.
For some reason, every time I'm a guest and I'm here with you all recording and stuff, Rob is never here.
That's true.
Taco Rob is never here.
He wasn't here last time.
Yeah, I know. Last time I was here, he wasn't here. And so every time, I don't know what's wrong with Taco Rob. I guess I stink or something.
Yeah,
so.
probably, yeah. All right, so let's move on to the first topic of the day. Alden Ehrenreich has signed on for 3 movies, according to a rumor, which makes sense because every big movie nowadays, they sign an actor for multiple movies, even if they're not going to be in those movies. They just sign them just in case, because what happens is an actor, does a movie that it makes a lot of money, like say Guardians of the Galaxy was a surprise hit, right?
Yep.
What happens is they already, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, they already signed Chris Pratt for multiple movies because every Marvel movie does that, right? Because what happens is, after the first movie, if it's successful, then the actor comes back and says, hey, I want higher pay because the movie was so successful. So what happens is they just do that now. They just sign them for multiple movies at a time. Yeah. So it makes sense that Alden Ehrenreich has signed for 3 movies.
And Alden Ehrenreich is going to be...
Is going to be the new young Han Solo.
There you go.
His first movie will be the Han Solo movie.
What is it, in 2000, let's see.
18.
18?
Yeah.
Yeah, because 16 is Rogue One. 17 is... Episode 8, which we don't know the title to yet.
Right.
Dang it, you idiots, tell us what it is.
I don't even think they know right now.
I want to know. I want to know just the title.
I know, me too.
Like, we knew the Force Sports, Force
Sports, yes. Episode 8, Force Sports.
We knew about Force Awakens, that title, for a while.
Yeah.
And I had to sink that in and try to... I guessed so many different things, and I was wrong completely.
I'm telling you, whenever Episode 8's title comes out, there would be so much speculation based on 4 words, because it's going to be 4 words. It'll be 4 words. Based on 4 words, we're going to speculate the crap out of that movie.
How do you know it's going to be 4 words?
Okay, The Phantom Menace, right?
That's 3.
Uh-huh. A New Hope.
That's 3.
So Episode 1 and Episode 4 match. Episode 2 is Attack of the Clones.
Okay, 4.
And The Empire Strikes Back, 4, right?
This is some conspiracy crap right now.
Right. I think it's part of like the Ring Theory. Have you heard of that?
That's really creepy.
Okay, so the third one, Revenge of the Sith.
That's 4?
4.
Okay.
Return of the Jedi.
Okay, 4.
So A New Hope was 3.
Okay.
Phantom Menace. What was Episode 7? The Force Awakens, 3.
Mm-hmm.
So the next one will be similar to Empire Strikes Back and Attack of the Clones. It will be 4.
I have a guess.
Unless they, screw with it, but I doubt they will.
I have a guess for it.
Give me your guess.
Secrets of the Force.
It's a good one.
That is a good one.
That is a good one, yeah.
So kind of have like the theme, like this new trilogy kind of has like the theme of like focusing on the Force, like The Force Awakens, Secrets of the Force, The Force Revived. Something like that. I don't know, for the 9th one. Yeah. I'm already guessing the titles, people. Yeah. If I'm right, you pay me $20.
All right, so let's get back to the topic. Alden Ehrenreich. Do you know who he is?
Yes, I do.
Did you see Hail Caesar?
I have not. I have not watched any of his movies. I have not. But I do know who he is just because of, Star Wars. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I'm excited. A lot of people online were freaking out saying that they're going to have a trilogy. It's going to be Han Solo 1, 2, 3. But here's the thing. If they do, I wouldn't... Like, it's hard to say right now that I'll be upset if they come out with another Han Solo movie until I actually see him as Han Solo.
Right.
If it's amazing, I want another Han Solo movie. Give me another Han Solo movie. Why not?
I want a lot of dirty, scummy things to go on in that movie.
Yeah.
In my honest opinion, I really do. I actually want Han Solo to backstab some people because it'd be hilarious to see him con everyone, because we found it funny in The Force Awakens whenever that little rebuttal was going on between him and those two gangs in that big garbage freighter.
Conch Club, and it was a
Conch Club, and was it
people from the raid?
Yeah, something like that. But that was hilarious, where he's like counting on his fingers, he's like, what was the second time? That was great.
Yeah, I can't. This is the first Star Wars movie since the new, Disney takeover that I'm scared of. I'm scared.
You're scared of Han Solo?
I'm scared that I don't. That's the hardest thing to do, is a Han Solo movie. I mean, people are gonna automatically. A lot of people are automatically gonna hate it. They're just gonna go to it and say, he's not Han Solo, I hate it.
Right.
And it's gonna be hard because a new guy is playing Han Solo. I don't know if that's gonna take me out of the movie at first, and how long it's gonna take for me to get used to him.
Chewbacca will help.
That will help.
That will help. And if we see the Millennium Falcon for the very first time, brand spanking new, maybe, that'd be pretty interesting to actually see like a real sleek version of the Millennium Falcon before all the modifications were done to it. Wait, no, we can't, because Lando made all those modifications first, and then Han Solo won it off of Lando in a Sabacc game.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So I do know that that's canon.
But we might see the Falcon. That would still be cool.
Right.
With the roundish.
Right. Maybe we actually get to see him win the Sabacc thing. But if they did a trilogy, I would like to see him finally get the Millennium Falcon, like maybe like the last one or in the middle or something like that.
There was a TV show they were going to do. Star Wars was going to do. What was it called? Star Wars Underworld, or... That's not right.
The game thing that you're talking about?
No, that's 1313.
Yeah, that's 1313.
Right before Disney bought Lucasfilm,
I heard that rumor. Yeah, I don't know what the name was though.
They had a series that they were gonna do, like a TV series, and it was gonna focus on the. I could be wrong, but it was gonna focus on like the underground of Coruscant, or like I think it was called Star Wars Underworld. I don't know. But
that'd have been cool.
But anyways, I think they could take, because they have like 200 scripts or something crazy amount of scripts for the TV show that they were going to do. They could take a lot of stuff from that and just put it in the Han Solo movie. And they could really make 3 movies, and I'd be happy.
Absolutely. They can make 3 movies. Now, should they? It all depends on the first one.
If the first one's good.
But here's the thing, though. In the first one, if they have the Millennium Falcon, I say that's the only movie. But... here's the thing. If they're going to do a trilogy, I would like to see them work up to the Millennium Falcon. And actually, now that I think about it, I would want him to get that Millennium Falcon in the last one.
Yeah.
From Lando in a card game and stuff like that. And you see him fly away with it and stuff like that. Woohoo! Like that, that'd be awesome. But guess what? Beforehand, he's still a captain. He has a different starship. And that one becomes semi-famous. How about that? Yeah. Like, we actually get to see something like new. Like
a new ship that's old.
Right, like in the EU, Lando's ship after he lost the Millennium Falcon was Lady Luck, Lucky Lady Luck, something like that. Know, and I mean that's kind of cool. Yeah, I want to see a new ship that he might have and stuff. That'd be pretty interesting. Nothing that looks like the Millennium Falcon, like something completely different.
Yeah.
Still smuggler kind of feel to it. So.
But I think people just need to chill out about the whole freaking out about 3 movies. I mean, let's wait until we see him. We haven't even seen him in costume yet. We haven't seen, once we see him acting as Han Solo, then if you think that movie's bad, then you can freak out and say you don't want another movie or another 2 movies. Then you can do that. But right now, we haven't seen anything. How are we going to all freak out? Why are we freaking out about it? A lot of people on Twitter are freaking out about it, saying they don't want it to have 3 movies because they're just wanting money.
Right. But thing is, though, they're pulling something pretty interesting right now. Disney, for doing this. They have some cojones for doing this, no joke.
Yeah.
Everything.
I mean that's probably one of the most hardest casting jobs anybody's ever done is Han Solo. That's like one of the most iconic characters in film history, and they had to recast him.
Yes.
That's insane.
But
so why not drag it and make 3 movies out of it? You got the guy.
You should. Might as well.
That was a hard find.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You might as well make another 2 movies.
Maybe.
I'm down. Or Or he could be, sorry I'm interrupting you, but
good.
Or the 3 movies, he could be starring in a upcoming Boba Fett movie.
No.
Yeah, I don't want that, but it could happen.
No, I'm just saying, like, if he's Han Solo, he better only be Han Solo in the Star Wars universe.
What do you
and
mean?
He might, huh?
Oh, no. I'm saying Han Solo appearing.
Oh, in the Boba Fett movie.
Yeah,
oh, okay.
Yeah,
no. For a cameo. I was like, dude, he is not going to be Boba Fett and Han Solo.
No.
Actually, there's this.
That probably came out wrong.
There's actually a weird. I actually watched a YouTube video. I'm now going on a tangent. Crap. There was a YouTube video of the Boba Fett theory and stuff before episode 1, 2, and 3 came out and stuff, where they believed that Boba Fett was a clone of Han Solo.
That is insane. I would hate that. Please don't do that.
Don't. Actually, whenever the guy explained it on YouTube and stuff like that, it actually became very interesting. Okay? It really did. It really did. Okay, you're really hating me right now. I'm going to stop.
I don't like that at all. I hate that.
I didn't like it either, but I thought it was interesting how he explained it. I was like, I can see where it works, but
send me the link. Send me the link.
I don't remember it.
Well, then I don't really care.
I'll try to find it and send you the link or something like that. You're probably going to hate it anyways.
Probably. But let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah, we need to.
Kathleen Kennedy confirms that there's no appearances of young Han Solo or Hayden Christensen in Rogue One. So it'd been rumored before heavily that we were going to get a Han Solo cameo in Rogue One. That was going to be his first time on screen, was in Rogue One. That was the rumor for a long time.
Doesn't fit.
Yeah, I would have hated it.
Absolutely.
I would have not liked it because it just would have taken me out of the movie. I'd just been like, oh, there's a new guy, Han Solo. All right, back to the movie. It's just taking me out of it.
And in all honesty, he wasn't wanting to deal with the Empire. He's not going to be anywhere near that crap.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends on where they go with Han Solo's story for the Solo movie. But and then also the Hayden Christensen thing. I'm upset. I'm not upset. I'm disappointed that he's not going to be in it.
Well,
actually, here's the thing. I'm not disappointed that he's not the one behind the Darth Vader mask. I could care less who's in the costume.
Right.
But if at one point he's in a Bacta tank, like has been rumored, I want it to be Anakin Skywalker or Hayden Christensen.
Just all messed up. Because that's his face.
He doesn't even have to talk. But I would love for him to talk because I think with a great director, he could put in a great performance. I've seen him in other movies. He's a good actor.
He really is. Have you? I cannot remember the movie, but it's where Hayden Christensen is he's going through heart surgery.
Yeah.
And he's awake the entire time. Yeah. And he feels it in his feels his bones cracking and stuff like that and everything, and he's screaming in his mind, but he can't do anything because he's still out of it. I think it's called Awake.
I think possibly.
I think it is. But then there's this big plot twist. If you want to look it up, watch it. I'm not going to spoil anything else, but it's a crazy movie. He's a great actor. And in all honesty, I think it was George Lucas's bad directing and writing that made Hayden Christensen so hated.
Yeah.
Because
it was a mix of the dialogue and the character and the story. It just didn't work out completely.
Because they made him whiny in the second movie because a YouTube person showed this to me and stuff like that. They put Luke Skywalker from Episode 4 side by side with Hayden Christensen from Episode 2. Okay? Granted, Hayden Christensen was more whiny, but they were both whiny. They were whiny teenagers at the exact same time. They were the exact same age in Episode 4 and Episode 2. They were the exact same age, well, close to it, and they were pretty whiny and stuff, just like how any of these teenagers would be and stuff like that, And in all honesty, maybe it was probably intentional. It really was. It's just everybody did not like it being intentional. But
it's harder because if you make Luke whiny, Luke's whiny. But if you make Anakin Skywalker whiny, that's Darth Vader. So it's harder to. It's hard.
You shouldn't have done that, right? But he becomes really awesome in Episode 3.
Yeah,
and he becomes cocky, and I kind of enjoyed Hayden Christensen actually a lot. In
Episode 3, Hayden Christensen is really good, and especially if I don't know if you've seen the Phantom edit or. I don't know what other edits. There's a bunch of edits of the movies where they edit out some of the bad, dumb stuff.
Right.
But
sand.
Yeah, I have the Phantom edit. I think is the one I'll have on DVD. Just sometimes I'll watch them. But in the Episode 2 Phantom edit, they really make him not as whiny, and they do a really good job of editing around him, and it's a lot better. his performance is a lot better.
Because I like the Anakin that they have portrayed in the Clone Wars. Yeah, I like that Anakin. And actually, the Anakin in the Clone Wars is obviously better than the Anakin in Episode 3.
Yeah.
It really is. Because there is still a little bit of whiny parts in Episode 3 and stuff like that. But, but Episode 3 kind of like started that cockiness and that, kind of like macho attitude, like, hey, I can do whatever I want. He doesn't know he's the chosen one, but he's like, man, I'm good at this kind of thing. And it travels on into the Clone Wars and stuff and everything, which was pretty nice.
Like, I don't know if you are caught up on Star Wars Rebels or not.
I am.
You are?
Yes.
Like the season 2 finale, where it's Vader and Ahsoka fighting. You know what I'm talking about? And, part of his mask gets...
That was awesome.
That part was awesome. I mean, besides the whole eyebrows, he shouldn't have had eyebrows. Everybody was freaking out about it. I don't give a crap. But... That's
bad. Yeah, I don't care.
It doesn't matter.
I don't care, but it was really trying to let you know, like, hey, that is Hayden Christensen.
Because it's hard to see his, his facial, the way his...
how mad he was.
Yeah,
it's hard to see someone mad.
Facial expressions. It's hard to see facial expressions without an eyebrow there.
Right. Especially in animation.
In animation, right.
Right.
But, like, what I was getting at is I would love to see something like that in Rogue One.
Absolutely.
Like, Vader gets screwed up on the battlefield and part of his mask comes off and you see Hayden Christensen behind that mask. Come on.
Without the eyebrow, but at least in...
But come on. You're telling me that people would be like...
At least it lets the movies connect.
Yeah.
You got to have them connect whenever they're main characters like that. Now, don't have like, all of a sudden Finn is Lando's son or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't like connections like that. I like connections where if it's the actual character, like it's the actual character, it's actually Vader, have him be kind of connected. Now, I hate in Episode 6 where they threw in Hayden Christensen into Episode 6. That makes me mad because
it doesn't make me mad.
He's older. You should have used an older version of himself.
What do you mean an older version of himself? You mean when he appears in Force Ghost?
Yes.
But the thing is, I could see it either way.
They did that on purpose so that way the kids would know, hey, that is him and stuff like that. But I really don't like that because whenever you watch it like all the way through and stuff like that, these kids are like, wow, he never aged. Yeah. Like, obviously the guy aged. Like, leave him as the old man. There's nothing wrong with him as the old man. Like, George Lucas, if you're listening to this, change that.
He's not.
I hope he is.
And he won't.
I will slap the crap.
that part doesn't really make me mad. A lot of people freak out about it, but it doesn't really bother me.
It upset me. I'm trying to get over it, but Hayden Christensen's smirky face on there kind of upsets me. I'm like,
I kind of like it. I don't know.
I don't know. But I would like to see that definitely in Rogue One. So,
but,
it would have been funny if he would have called it Ahsoka Snips.
I would have hated that. That would have been awful.
Really?
That would have been awful.
Why?
I don't like that. It's better just like the way he says Ahsoka. Come on.
You're reading into that wrong. Of course he's going to have to say Ahsoka and stuff like that, and maybe he's like, whenever they're about ready to have like their final duel, whenever the pyramid's about to close and stuff like that, you was never better than me, Snips, or something.
You was never better than me, Snips.
Okay.
Look, Vader saying Snips.
Okay, that's a good point. Because now I'm starting to think of James Earl Jones' voice and him saying Snips.
If you don't know what Snips is Ahsoka's nickname in the Clone Wars. Anakin gives her that nickname.
Right.
And I don't like that.
Okay,
It works in the Clone Wars.
Now that I'm saying it.
It's funny banter between them. It works fine. I don't really care for it, but it's fine. It's a nickname. It doesn't really matter. But him as Vader saying that, no, come on.
That's a good point. I started thinking about it. I was trying to explain myself out of it, but I just dug my hole a little deeper with that one. So, sorry, viewers. Sorry, listeners.
Yeah. All right, let's move into some email questions. You ready for these?
Nope.
Some hard email questions.
Yeah, they were this week.
Let's see. Man, this first one is more of a sports question. Are you a sports guy?
Go for it.
Okay, this is from... It's not a sports question, but it has sports in it. This is from Kyle from the Tumbling Saber podcast. I listen to that podcast regularly, and it's a really good podcast. If you ever...
Tumbling Saber. I'll gotta look that up.
Yeah, he is at Tumbling Saber on Twitter. Check him out. He says, do you think sports leagues in the galaxy far, far away test for midichlorians the same way we test for PEDs? Secondly, if midichlorians are naturally occurring, then shouldn't someone with a high count be allowed to play? Wouldn't it be here we go.
Discriminating.
Wouldn't it be discriminatory?
Oh,
is that better?
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not reading it. I'm not looking at it.
Wouldn't it be? I'm terrible at pronouncing some words. Volatile. I said it.
You actually said volatile, dude, instead of saying violet.
I know.
All right.
Wouldn't it be discriminatory? Crap. I'm gonna edit all this out.
Yeah, you need to.
Wouldn't it be discriminatory to ban someone with force powers? Have fun with this one. Thank you, Kyle. We appreciate the question as always. What do you think, Brad?
Kyle, you stink. Okay.
This is a hard.
Yeah, this is. Let's see.
Let's keep them short because we got three.
Well, if you think about it, okay, people have natural talent. Okay, I am horrible at basketball. Okay.
That's true.
Okay,
No.
I could look. It really is. I'm horrible at basketball, but yet I can look at Michael Jordan and something like that, and he's a great ball player.
Yeah.
Okay, he's a great ball player because maybe he has that midichlorian count.
Right.
You know,
it's in his DNA.
Right, it's in his DNA. You know, he's just a better athlete. He's an all-around better athlete. He can play baseball. He can play golf. He can play all that stuff.
And sure, he trained to be a better athlete, but before the training, he was already good.
So does Jedi. They also train and stuff. So really, maybe the midichlorians you can almost look like as natural talent. I don't have that natural talent like that. So if I don't have that natural talent, then I can't really whine and complain because he's the entertainer. If you think about it, sports, yes, is a competition. And you always want the best versus the best. But also, sports is also entertainment.
Right.
You know, and it's more entertaining
if
to see.
If the good guys are playing. The best players are playing. That's
right. You know, it's more entertaining whenever that person has that much natural talent, that much midichlorian compared to my little bitty one midichlorian. You know,
yeah.
I'm not going to be very entertaining. I'm not going to make a good competition.
Yeah, I think the difference between Earth and the galaxy far, far away is here we have a lot of people who are really good at basketball or really good at football. But in Star Wars, there's not a ton of Jedi, at least in the know sequels.
It's like us discriminating against the person that is too tall to play basketball. Okay, let's keep using basketball as an example. This is good. Sure. This is a good one and stuff like that. Like, look, I'm only 5'8", okay?
I'm with you.
Yeah, you know. And, I mean, me playing against a guy that's 7 foot, I can easily say that's not fair. You're discriminating against me because of my height and stuff like that. Well, it's the opposite way around. You know, like, he's like, well, it's not my fault that I'm this height. You're too short. You know, you're discriminating against me for being tall.
That's the way you are, yeah.
Right. It's just whatever. Now, maybe in the galaxy far, far away, you have 2 different leagues. That'd be pretty interesting. So that way the competition's at least even, so that way it's more entertaining for both people.
Yeah.
You know.
I'd say that in Star Wars, it's probably looked down upon that a Jedi is doing a sport. They probably ban it.
They're probably not Jedi. Think about that. A lot of people were force sensitive. Right. But they weren't Jedi.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah, because remember, like, the kids in the Rebel season and stuff like that, they were force sensitive and they was trying to kidnap them. They was going to learn that they was force sensitive whenever they got older, and maybe they just hid it and suppressed it and just used their talents for different things.
So do you think that in Star Wars they would test for midichlorians?
Yes, if there was 2 different leagues. No, if, well, it doesn't matter. Because in all honesty, those records of midichlorians probably got destroyed whenever the Empire took over and Emperor Palpatine was trying to like take all of the...
Yeah, but they could probably still test for it now.
Well, maybe they don't know what...
Because...
only the Jedi knew what midichlorians were. Maybe other people don't... Well, yeah. Because remember, Anakin didn't know what midichlorians were. He's like, what's that?
True. You know? People on small planets won't really know.
They won't know. And actually, a lot of people probably wouldn't know that the Jedi had midichlorians. Only the Jedi would know that because that's something sacred to their culture.
Right.
So, in all honesty, I don't think they would know to test for it.
They just think they're really good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, if they did some things that they weren't sure about and stuff like that, they would probably yell out, Jedi, Jedi!
If they start, like, moving things in the air or something, yeah they might,
Maybe. I mean, that'd be probably pretty bad. Like, you probably get a hit on her head by Jabba or something. Like, you made me lose money.
Yeah.
So...
All right. Well, I appreciate the email, Kyle. Let's move on to Johnny Grasso's email.
Johnny Grasso.
This is at Rogue One Johnny. That is Rogue One with a W instead of a O.
Oh,
Rogue
okay.
One, like winner, one.
Gotcha.
Rogue One Johnny. That's his name on Twitter, so go follow him. He says, Now, this is a bit of a spoiler for Life Debt, the book, Aftermath Life Debt.
Oh.
So, it's a bit of a spoiler, but you've probably heard this because I think I sent this to you.
Okay.
But, okay, he says, "It has recently been brought to my attention that Gallius Rax from Life Debt is Snoke. But another friend said Snoke is in fact Brendol Hux, General Hux's father. What are your thoughts?" So he's referring to this theory that's going around, and on his podcast, he has a podcast called Rogue One, Rogue One with a W, a Star Wars podcast for winners. I listen to it every week. It's a great podcast.
Okay.
On his podcast this past week, he had a guest on who created this theory that Brendol Hux, who is General Hux's father from Force Awakens, General Hux, you know the guy, you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, it's his dad. They're saying that Snoke is his dad. There's a bunch of reasons why that deal with like canon, like they bring in canon to explain it. They're not just like shouting these theories around. It's like, okay, this is the evidence from this book. This is the evidence from this book. Okay. So it's got great evidence behind it. I probably should have sent you the video before we answered this question. That's my fault.
Okay.
I couldn't find the video. I just listened to the podcast and they talked about it on there. But I will say that my thoughts on the Brendol Hux theory is I don't think it's true. I don't think that he is Snoke. But I really respect the work that went into this theory. It was a great theory. And
absolutely.
They did a lot of digging into books that nobody read, like children's books and stuff, that had random facts in there. They brought that as part of their theory.
They really want you to know who he is.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to know. I mean, who is Snoke? You see like one scene of him, maybe two in Force Awakens.
It's two.
Three? Yeah.
What's
introduced to him. Then they go back in and Kylo says the girl... And he's like, bring her to me.
Oh, and then the last one is they're escaping.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah, it is 3.
So, it's a great theory, Brendol Hux. It's a fun theory to look at. I love fun theories. I made my own fun theory. The Ezra Bridger is Rey's father theory.
Right.
It's just a fun thing to talk about.
Right.
But I don't subscribe to it just because several things from her theory that I don't agree with fully. I'm not going to go into detail because I'd have to break apart every little thing. But
for a person that hasn't looked at that, like into the books and stuff like that, and hasn't watched the video that you're talking about and stuff, just from my common knowledge and stuff of The Force Awakens, from what I've seen, if you look at it, it's actually very interesting because it could easily be plausible. Because if you see how General Hux acts, whenever him and Kylo Ren are side by side, they're competing for like Snoke's like affection. And maybe that's like a father-son kind of like affection thing, like a problem and stuff. He's realizing like, he wasn't Force-sensitive. He wasn't the Force-sensitive son. He feels bad about that and stuff like that and everything. His father was Force-sensitive, and now he's teaching Kylo Ren and giving him the attention that he's always craved and stuff like that. Like, and Kylo knows about it, and he's boasting about it because Kylo like threatened to kill him.
Yeah.
Multiple times and stuff like that.
That's part of their theory. That exact point is they're fighting for attention and affection from Snoke.
And his facial expressions. I remember General Hux's facial expressions and stuff. Yeah. He looked mad whenever it sounded like Snoke was giving almost Kylo like a praise, like saying, you need to do this and everything stuff. I can count on you, and Hux is like, count on me. The weapon is ready. Give me this chance. He's like trying to prove himself like to a son, to a bad father almost, everything like, let me prove myself to you that I am worthy, everything, I can be just as bad, Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can easily see it.
I think, I don't know, I don't know if it's I don't know how to say Gallius Rax, who is a character from...
A lot of people are saying that one, and actually I'm just going to go with my gut and say it probably is.
It
needs to be a new character. Yeah. It needs to be.
I would say that I would bet more on Gallius, whatever, Rax, more than I would Brendol Hux.
Absolutely.
But mainly just because I feel like if it was Brendol Hux, if it was General Hux's father, part of their theory was that, like you said, they're fighting for attention. I don't buy into that just because I feel like we would have gotten more of a sense of the relationship between them if that was the case. I think
maybe the absence of the relationship though is the point.
I don't know.
I am happy though that they have not used the title Darth. I am very happy that they have,
because they're not Sith. He's not Sith.
He's not.
No.
Neither one of them are. Kylo's not Sith.
They came out and said that before.
He changed his name to Kylo Ren from Ben Solo, but I mean, you know, he didn't take no title of Darth. He hasn't learned from a Sith. Yeah. And I don't think Snoke even learned from a Sith either.
Yeah.
He didn't learn from Palpatine. He didn't learn from Vader. I really don't think he actually learned anything at all. He just knew a little bit. He kind of trained some people with just a couple of things, but honestly, I don't know if he's actually officially trained himself.
I don't know. But I mean, part of their theory was that part of the Gallius Rax thing, that he's Snoke. I buy into that more just because they laid out a bunch of stuff that hinting at it from that Aftermath life debt,
and that book's being made for a reason.
But this person said that, well, that's probably a red herring. It's probably they're just saying that so everybody thinks that because it's so implied that it's Snoke, like to another level that it's implied. So people are saying, well, they're just trying to throw you off. But
sometimes you can go too far with it to where if it isn't him, then people are going to read that book and just be like, this is a crappy book. The only reason why it's so good right now is because it implies it so well. But if all that implementation is just a ruse, and now people know that it's a ruse, people are not going to enjoy that aspect of that book. So I think it has to be.
I said this on Twitter the other day, but I think it'd be interesting if Kylo goes back to train with Snoke, and he takes out Snoke. He kills him.
I seen that, and I was like, I would like that in the third movie.
Yeah.
I would like it more in the third movie.
I mean, it'd be so Snoke Palpatine episodes are, you know, the end of the trilogy the main guy has to die. I think what they should do, I mean, I don't know if they should do, but I think it'd be cool if Kylo killed Snoke, and then there's a new guy introduced of some sort, or we just focus on the Knights of Ren moving forward.
Problem is, though, they started off Episode 7 mirroring the original trilogy so much to where it has to advance forward like the original trilogy. It's almost like you can't help it because of the way how they set it up. In all honesty, maybe have had too many similarities.
Yeah, that was a big complaint of people.
Yeah,
I think
they've set it up.
Episode 8, they're gonna go off that. I think they're gonna.
I hope they do. I really hope.
There's Rian Johnson, and I mean, from the rumors and leaks we've seen so far, stuff looks good coming out of that movie. Really good. I don't know if you've kept up with, like...
I just seen that little first clip wherever they shot Luke.
Oh, okay. So you haven't heard any of the leaks or rumors?
I have read and listened to a lot of, like, the plot leaks and stuff like that.
Most of those are fake. False.
Right. A lot of those are false, but it's still interesting to listen to.
It's interesting. But, all right. Well, John Grosso, thanks for the email, as always.
Absolutely.
Let's move on to Daniel's question.
All right, let's get it.
He says, inspired by my recent jury duty, what would make for a great Star Wars trial? All right, don't cop out and make it too easy. All right, so
you first.
All right, here's mine. You want me to go first?
Yeah, yours is the serious one. Mine's funny.
It's a little dark.
It is dark. It's very dark.
Okay.
If you need help, I'll try to help explain it too as well. Okay.
All right, so my trial would be the Ewoks suing the Rebellion for
New Republic. It has to be a New Republic.
New Republic, yes. For damages against their homeworld of Endor. And so you say, well, why is there damages? They're celebrating at the end of Episode 6, right? You know, it's all good, and you know everybody's having a good time, dancing, clapping. Well, the next morning or throughout the night, after they're all drunk that night, throughout the night they wake up to rainfall of metal and like acid, you know, I don't know.
Gasoline that lights on fire and burns down most of their planet.
Right. I mean, the Death Star freaking blew up right above their planet. Okay? The Battle of Jakku, fast forward, Battle of Jakku...
it's destroyed.
The Star Destroyers crashed on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
You know how big a Death Star is compared to a Star Destroyer?
And also the second Death Star was about, 4 times bigger than the original?
Way bigger, yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be, like, way bigger.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you take my theory to the extreme, Endor's probably blown up, but we know that doesn't happen in canon.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So, my thing is, the Ewoks suing the Rebellion. Now, you could say, well,
New Republic.
Sorry, the New Republic. The Ewoks could sue the Empire, right? Because the Death Star. But who blew up the Death Star? The New Republic, or at the time of the rebellion, right? Now you say, okay, the Ewoks, they can't really talk very well. They're small. They don't have any money. They're like living like with spears and stuff. Who's gonna pay for the court fees? Who's gonna pay that? The Empire will spot them the money because they hate the New Republic.
Right. It's the Imperial Remnant before the First Order.
Yep.
And really the main point is like, look, they're going to try to convince the Ewoks like, hey, the Empire that was your enemy, that you hate and stuff, that caused all this big turmoil and stuff like that above your planet and stuff like that.
We were just hanging out. We're just hanging out above your planet, just chilling. All of a sudden, we got blown up. It's not our fault.
Or like they could try to say, hey, the Empire was the ones that was above your planet and stuff like that. That was that Death Star. They caused all this and stuff. But now the Empire has become the New Republic. Guess what? You can now sue the New Republic and stuff like that. But really, in all reality, the New Republic is not the Empire. They're lying to them, making them think that it's the Empire.
So they could
because it's the new main form of government. Like the Empire was the main form of government. Now the new main form of government is the New Republic.
Right.
So the Imperial Remnant's trying to say...
they have a couple ways to go about doing it. They could say, they could blame it on the New Republic, or they could say, well, the Empire is the New Republic.
Right.
So, yeah. But, I mean, they could sue them for damages against Endor in terms of, all the freaking trees, all their homes. I mean, plenty of Ewoks probably died. Laying out in the middle of the woods, drunk.
That's sad part in the episode.
Episode 6, when he's poking his friend and he's not waking up.
Like, that's sad.
That gets me every time.
Dude, that's deep.
Yeah, it is.
It
That's
really
that's the saddest moment in all of Star Wars.
Absolutely, it really is. That was really sad.
It honestly is. That is.
Yeah.
No. I take that back.
Well, Han Solo.
I take that back. No. The saddest moment in Star Wars comes in Episode 6 at the beginning. A character named Malakith, I think, something. He's the fat guy who goes in after the Rancor dies. He's the fat guy. He's the trainer. The Rancor trainer. He's just crying. He's like, that's my buddy, and he's crying.
And that one guy's like, yeah, and he's like patting him on the back, trying to consult him.
That gets me every time.
Huh?
That gets me. Yeah.
Actually, I think the Ewok thing is a little bit more sad, but that's just difference of opinion there.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Mine is not so dark. I'm gonna actually lighten y'all up with having a funny moment and stuff. Just close your eyes and picture this, everybody. Okay?
All right, go ahead.
All right. A Celestian.
Yes. That's the...
Huh?
Celestian.
The guy that goes, yeah, in Episode 6, yeah.
The guy who's co-piloting with Lando.
With
okay,
Lando,
got it.
right. A Celestian, because he looks funny, okay, that's really wrong of me, but he looks funny, is suing... suing like the Coruscant government, or actually suing the Coruscant Zoo because a Wampa broke out of the zoo and injured the Celestian and his family.
Okay, so you're making up a new story here. A new story in the Star Wars universe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like apparently now Coruscant has a zoo and they have Wampas there. The big snow creature at Hoth and stuff like that. Those would be pretty cool. It's almost kind of like a polar bear.
Now you say damaged the who did the Wampa
injured?
Hurt? Injured who?
The Celestians and his family.
The Wampa didn't kill them?
He wasn't able to because he was stopped.
By
somebody shot him. One of the zookeepers shot him.
Was there an outrage similar to a gorilla?
Oh, I did not think about that. Oh, good Lord. I am not starting that back up again.
Let's move on to the next topic.
Yep, let's go. I did not say that.
No, I think that'd be interesting. Substitute is it thundering outside?
Holy crap. I just seen a huge thing of lightning.
I know, I was wondering what that was.
Kids screamed outside. I'm freaking out. There's a Wampa outside.
We can change the zoo to a bank. Let's say he was robbing a bank. Huh?
The Celestian was robbing a bank?
No, the Wampa.
A Wampa is robbing a bank.
Yes.
A crazed creature that has no intelligence whatsoever is robbing a bank.
Let's say he is terrorizing a neighborhood.
How did he get there?
He escaped from the zoo, dummy. You
oh,
just
okay.
said that.
Fine. But still, he's getting shot.
He got shot by somebody. He just got shot.
The same way. Like,
okay,
look, this is way too similar.
I'm just
we need to get off
out
topic.
of your gorilla story.
I wanted to move on. You kept going with it. Just get out of it.
All right, let's stop.
Get out of this thing.
Thank you, Daniel, for the submission. We appreciate it.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we're going to move into a new segment we're going to call Pitch Wars, where me or whoever and a guest or whoever, me and Rob, me and Daniel, me and Brad, pitch a video game, a standalone movie, a book, whatever we want, and we kind of have a competition between us, and we'll have a judge on. Today the judge was Daniel, of course. And so here's how it's going to work. So today's pitch is video games. So we're each going to pitch a Star Wars video game we want to see. Okay, so let's move on to the rules. So let me run down the rules. Just 3 quick rules for this. The story has to fit in existing canon. The technology has to exist, so it has to be playable on PS4, Xbox One, or PC. No crazy like 3D or I don't even know what else.
Virtual reality. Well, like virtual reality where you can like be sent into the game or something like that. You know, something off of a cartoon.
Right, and then also it cannot directly copy a previously existing Star Wars game, but it can be similar to a non-Star Wars game if you want, because there's tons of games. You're going to be similar to one of them or several. Right. So basically how it's going to work is I'm going to give my pitch, which is just going to be the title, where it occurs in canon, and just a short summary of the game, and then Brad's going to do the same thing. Once we've both done this, we'll get to expand upon our story, multiplayer content, and how it fits into canon, whatever else we want to add, and then at the very end, we will each have 20 seconds to tell why our game is better than the other person's. We will be judged in the categories of
title, single player and overall content, multiplayer, creativity, and fun factor.
All right. Each of them will be weighted between 1 and 10. So 10 being the highest, 1 being the worst, of course. Oh, and also forgot to mention that we have Daniel via Skype right now. So he'll be listening and judging. So let's begin. Brad, you go first.
I thought that's not cool. That's not cool.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go first. You're the host, man.
All right.
Give me a sec to relax here. I'm a little nervous.
Remember how I told you I had several picks for my title and they're all terrible?
Yeah. Is this one also terrible?
Yeah. So here's my title. The title is Star Wars Rogue Warrior. Okay?
All right.
Okay. It takes place the day after the first Death Star was destroyed.
Okay.
On a remote planet. I didn't come up with one because I'm not going in depth, but I'm sure somebody will come up with a good, planet name, of course. You play as a character who is inspired by the destruction of the Death Star and helps start a rebellion on a remote planet. All right. It is a first-person open-world game focusing on just taking over one planet. And so you focus on taking over outposts. So it's all Imperial-controlled planet, and you're starting this rebellion, taking over, one by one, outpost by outpost. And so that's like the short summary, very short intro. Let's see.
All right.
I'll save that for the next part. Okay, you go ahead.
All right. My title is Star Wars Imperial Ranks. Mine is a little bit of, I'm going to give everybody the story of what the life is like of being a stormtrooper or a TIE fighter pilot or any of the soldiers in the Imperial Army. So like you could even be one of the new Death Troopers, something like that. But their stories are kind of brief, but not so much. Some of them might only be like 2 missions long. Another one might be 6 missions long. It just depends. And every time that you go into one of them, you'll kind of like learn a little bit more about that person's squad and everything, what they had to go through and stuff. It's going to have a real Afghanistan kind of war feel, Afghanistan, Iraq and everything, because you don't know who's the enemy, who's not, until you get ambushed usually, or you have to do raids to try to stop the rebels from taking over on these certain areas. You're kind of spread around the galaxy. You explore many different planets and stuff like that with these different stories, and you just kind of have fun understanding what it was like to be a part of the Empire, because a lot of these people thought they were good guys.
Right. Yeah. I don't want to try to help you out here, but I read Lost Stars, through Audible, so I listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it focused on two characters who started off in the Empire. And you see it through their eyes where they're like, no, the Empire's good. And it really shows the human, that they're humans underneath the Stormtroopers. They're not evil people,
right.
Most of them. Some of them are, and so that's really interesting. So my question for that real quick before we move on is, so it exists in canon, it'll go between like prequels and sequel time.
It will be whenever sort of.
It'll focus on different missions within, like you'll do the first Death Star
within the Rebellion era.
Okay.
It'll be within the Rebellion era. A little bit after Episode 3 because clones are not going to be there no more. It's now going to be official Stormtrooper attire and stuff like that. And in all honesty, it's probably going to be closer to the Rogue One sort of idea, and then a little bit further on and stuff. One of the things that's actually pretty interesting, if you remember from Episode 4, Luke Skywalker said he wanted to join the Academy.
Yeah.
Obviously, that means the Imperial Academy. He was actually going to be part of the Empire and stuff because he wanted to be a pilot for the Empire.
Yeah.
And stuff until he found out that they were bad because they killed his uncle and aunt.
Right.
And everything. So, I mean, a lot of people had this idea of wanting to join them because
that's the thing you did when you were, on a remote planet. The Empire fed you, They're good people.
Right.
You don't know the true evils of them until
No, and actually these troopers don't know either.
I'm not helping my case.
No, you're really not. Actually, we're going into a great discussion about mine.
It's a good conversation.
Oh,
okay,
absolutely.
So let me go into a summary of my story. Okay.
Go for it.
The story focuses on a character that you get to create. So it could be a guy, a girl, whatever race, whatever alien, whose parents are killed by the Empire. They're around 19, 20 years old. Okay, so you are this person. While you are being transported off-world, you and your friend break out and return to your home planet, okay? During the escape is actually when the Death Star blows up. So what happens is the Empire could care less what you're doing, escaping, so they don't have time to chase you. Their freaking Death Star just, blew up. So you're clear away, you're back to your planet, and nobody's chasing you. And you're like, well, let's do something, So, let's see. So, okay, so the Empire is now shaken after the Death Star. They're freaking out. They don't know what they're doing. Their freaking Death Star just blew up. They don't care about your escape, and you are inspired by this to start a rebellion on your planet because it's hard to reach the rebellion to get in contact with them to join. So you're just like, well, if I can't get in contact with them, I don't want to wait until I can. I'm just going to start a rebellion on my planet, and maybe it'll get their attention. So by the end of the game, you get the attention of the rebellion, and you get to help establish Hoth as a base for them. And you get to play through Hoth as your character who's fighting on the ground for the last level of the game, and it's awesome.
So you actually get to go to Hoth at the end because you eventually join the rebellion?
So the whole game is you're on one planet, and at the very end, you get to go to Hoth. And that's two planets.
Die?
I don't know. You have to play it and find out.
Do you die? I'm like, that really stinks. You go to Hoth and everything. They're trying to escape. Like, oh crap! I really shouldn't have done this.
All right, so let's go into multiplayer content.
All right, so that was your overall single player part, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you have more for your single player you want to go into?
Yeah, sure. I can go into my single player a little bit more. So, really, the main antagonist for you is obviously the rebels, but actually it's going to be interesting because certain groups are going to be kind of like together. So you have a stormtrooper story mode over here and stuff like that. Then you have like the scout trooper story mode right next to it and the death trooper one or something. Those three are together, and their overall arcing story is actually kind of like you pick the certain rebels. Okay, so one of the rebellion that you have to deal with and stuff, you'll actually know that it's Mon Mothma's rebellion. So the actual rebellion that you know of and stuff. Another one
could be my rebellion.
Right, it could be your you could even be your rebellion and stuff.
Like a small world.
Right.
Okay.
Then you have your Splinter Cell ones, which are your small world ones.
Like Saw Gerrera from Rogue One.
I haven't gotten to him yet, so there's two. And then there is a Saw Gerrera. he is the biggest bad boy on there and stuff, to where you really got to watch out for, because he's the most dangerous. Definitely. And whenever you get into that story mode, that's at the very end, and you will have to fight for your dear life to try to protect yourself. And what's going to be interesting is it's going to tie into the TV show Rebels, because remember, what is the Imperial agent Callus and stuff. Remember, he talked about Saul Guerrero killing his squad and stuff. You have to go rescue him after his squad just got destroyed. You are the ones that extracted him out of there to make sure that he was safe. That's one of the stories that is actually pretty cool, I thought.
Okay.
Single player, are you talking about single player content of like how it's played, or just like the story?
I guess just the story. I didn't really go into how it's played.
Oh, I actually have how it's played.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, right now?
Go for it.
All right. So kind of like how it's played and stuff. Whenever you start off in the beginning, it's kind of like the Splinter Cells and stuff like that. Probably more like the Mon Mothma one or something. And that one, you're only just the Stormtrooper, or you're just only like the Scout Trooper or something like that. You're only a solo guy, and you're being told what to do the entire time in your squad and stuff. And you get to understand your squad, you get to know your squad, and you play almost kind of like a Call of Duty kind of feel. And if you remember Call of Duty Finest Hour, I loved that game, by the way, whenever it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever it came out, I loved how it had stories. Like, you had the Russian story and stuff like that, and they would introduce a person like, my name is Tanya Pavlovna.
Yeah.
I was blah, 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 and it did that. That's how it's going to start off every single time you go into a new character and stuff. So you get a background of that person.
So it's different stories combined into one
overall arcing story and stuff. Right. But as you further progress, you can now become a part of a team member and stuff. Team member being like, you have obviously you have 12 people in a squad. Each squad has 3 teams of 4. Whenever that happens, then you go into kind of like a SOCOM mode. You know, like SOCOM, everything where you use like 4 people and everything, you was able to do certain things and stuff. Well, this one, you are that one person, but you tell your other 3 AI players what to do during the game to help you out and stuff like that during your single player content. Then whenever you get further on, then you have an entire squad that you have to try to coordinate. And it gets a little bit more hasty and stuff like that. That's why it's called Imperial ranks. You slowly rank up and stuff like that and everything, kind of go through the different ranks and all the different characters.
All right. Online content. You may go?
You go first.
Okay. So the story mode focuses on 1 planet, 2 at the very end, right?
Right.
The online gameplay
is
totally free roam in the entire galaxy. I mean, not the entire galaxy, because you can
however many you can make
on an Xbox One or a PS4, right?
Right.
Okay.
Which is, I think, like 20. I think someone's even tested that out.
It'll be a big map, okay? So you can go in between planets. Similar to the heist in Grand Theft Auto. I don't know if you played the most recent Grand Theft Auto.
I don't play Grand Theft Auto.
I don't either, but the most recent one's actually really good.
Okay.
So similar to the heist, you can go on missions to help win over planets to the rebellion with people like your friends or strangers. You can fast travel between planets, or you can hop in your starfighter and fly to your destination. And now on your way, you will run into smugglers you might have to fight, bounty hunters you might have to fight off, Empire ships, and fly through asteroids fields. You can also buy ships, customize them, and store them wherever you decide to live, what planet you decide to live on.
Right.
There will be side missions within, so like race missions, like pod racing through.
That can actually earn you extra credits.
Right.
I'm helping you out. Why am I doing this?
There'll be fun little card games in cantinas that nobody really will play, but it'll be cool to have, like Sabacc. Bounty missions where you go on bounties to like Red Dead Redemption, when you have to go on bounties. Transport missions, you have to transport material from one side of the galaxy to the other, evading the Empire, racing against time to beat other people's scores. Also simulation training, which is basically team deathmatch between bots or strangers, just to have fun and shoot people if you want.
Reprogram battle droids, maybe.
Yep. Sure. So
I'm helping you.
That's my online content. It'll be like it'll almost like Destiny. You can go between. Have you played Destiny?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Go between planets and stuff.
That's what I was kind of seeing. So you're a big Destiny player, and
I'm not a big Destiny player.
Really?
I started playing it for like a month. I liked it. It was good, but I just didn't have anybody to play with, so I stopped playing it. I sold it.
Oh, that stinks. It is a good game, but I don't have usually that many people to play with too and stuff like that. But you stole quite a bit off of that.
Yeah,
it's pretty neat. That's not bad.
That's
not bad at
all. I played Destiny for maybe 2 weeks with a buddy of mine who had it, and he got off Xbox. I didn't have anybody to play with, so I sold it. So I didn't even play much of the online. I just liked getting on my little speeder thing, and how you could like auto get on your speeder or whatever.
Right.
So like it'll be like a big Destiny game, I guess. From what I hear, I haven't played much of Destiny. I played a little bit.
Okay.
So that'll be the online content.
They just have like any DLC or something like that, like a true EA scumbag.
Yeah. No, it won't have any DLC because everything will be on it.
All right, about time. Time EA did it right. Oh, by the way, EA, if you're listening to this, all copyrights is to us because me, Brad Sturgill, Josiah Ward, because we want money.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. All copyrights to us.
Yes. All right, so your online content.
All right, my online content is kind of like an advanced version of the single player content. So you can choose between what level of rank you want to kind of deal with. So you have the 1/3 of your multiplayer and stuff like that will kind of be like a traditional traditional Battlefront or traditional Call of Duty or something like that, where it's kind of like a run and gun kind of game and stuff like that. Everybody's real people and you fight against one another, or you can even go up against AI and stuff like that if you felt like it, but it's just like you're the single person. You go in, you do your thing, you die, you respawn, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Another one that would be that I kind of enjoy is the next third partner thing, where you are now you fight against other people, but here's the thing though, you have 3 bots to help you out. You have a team. So you go in and stuff like that with your team and you fight. Okay? Right. If you die, then you will respawn and your AI will defend that position and wait for you to get back until they are technically then annihilated.
So you're playing against other bots or strangers?
Strangers and with their bots.
Okay, got
and their bots and stuff like that and everything. You can upgrade your bots. You can try to get them more you can get them more advanced, check out their loadout or anything like that and stuff. And you can be a death trooper or stormtrooper or whatever. And whenever you're on the rebels, you can be all these different rebels that you're going to have to fight in the game.
Right.
So you might have to deal with like a rebel saboteur or something like that, or a rebel raider or something like that. Something interesting. And whenever you get to him, whenever you get back to your position where you might have died at and stuff, you pick up those AIs that are there left, but any of them that had died on your way back, they automatically spawn next to you. Right. So no matter what, you always have that 4 with you. You always have that 4. Everything. So that's never going to go away. And so I don't know, you could have maybe like 10 versus 10. So 10 actual people versus 10 actual people. So it'd be like a big 40 versus 40 map or something like that. Like it can get really big, and you can have vehicles. If you had a vehicle spawn, like you can actually pick up the vehicles. Those would only be like whenever you pick it up, you get like, let's just say you get into a chicken walker, an ATST. Well, guess what? You get 1 extra ATST to help you out. So it's 2 instead of just 1. If you get into an AT-AT, that's 1. Now, let's just say you get into a starfighter, because yes, you can be a TIE fighter pilot in this, which is actually kind of cool and stuff like that. And you might even dive into, in the single player content, you might even dive into like meeting Wedge. Wedge was your buddy and stuff like that, but he went on to the Rebels and stuff, and you had to watch him go or something. That'd be pretty interesting, because that's actually happening now in Rebels Season 3.
Rebels,
and stuff. So, more things for the single player content. But whenever you spawn with like, the starfighter or something like that, you could have like 2 wingmen with you. Things like that. 2 wingmen AI to try to help you out and stuff. The next one is whenever you're in a full squad. Now this one is 4 versus 4. Okay, 4 humans versus 4 humans. Each one of you all have an entire squad, and you have an objective to complete. You have a certain objective and stuff, and what you do is you coordinate with those other 3 players to try to move your teams in your squad properly to where you can actually obtain the objective. And it's all depending on if your objective wins or not. So like, the other team could just be better at planning their moves and moving around and stuff like that, and they ended up actually beating you.
Right.
So, a little bit of battle tactics there. But it's stealing a lot from a little bit of like how SOCOM was, and also the ode N64 Rainbow Six kind of thing as well. Also the new SOCOM Siege, that'd be pretty cool too. Having a little bit of aspects of that as well, and different things. And the teams whenever you're like in the teams of the 4 and stuff, that's stealing off of a game called Full Spectrum Warrior from PlayStation 2 that I really enjoyed. That's actually a good game. If anybody's ever played that, it's a great game, by the way.
Yeah.
That's a phenomenal game.
Hey, it's Daniel. No.
I've just been listening. I'm just trying to be impartial and just listen.
Oh, thank you. That's fine. Are you talking about Full Spectrum?
Yeah, Full Spectrum.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one who let you borrow it, man. That was a
Actually,
great
I
game.
still have that. Are you wanting that back?
No, you're good.
All right. But, I mean, I thought he was talking about my game was awesome. I got really excited there for a second.
Like, yeah, my game steals a lot from the Far Cry franchise where you...
Like well, also a little bit from Destiny, too.
Right. The online is Destiny. The single players is Far Cry. What I like about Far Cry is whenever you're taking over outposts, you can be stealthy and, like, just, go around with a knife and take people out silently. Or you can go and run and gun in with a machine gun and just take everybody out. But if you do that, they'll send alarms. They have alarms and they'll send reinforcements. And I always like the stealth mode. That's always fun to go. Taking people out with a knife and nobody even knows.
Right.
So I think that'd be cool in the Star Wars universe for real.
And are you at least able to hop into their vehicles and steal them?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all that matters because being able to steal a chicken walker from the Empire is actually pretty sweet.
Yeah. But I guess that's our games. Daniel, do you have any questions?
Multiplayer too.
No, I'm gonna be totally upfront with you guys. Whenever you told me that I would be judging your all's pitches for video games, I did not expect you all to come with so much good. I mean, it's good. I mean, I was expecting it to be really, really choppy and really rough, but for the most part, you both actually did your homework, and I'm very impressed. Let me start off with that. Question-wise, I don't really have any questions. I feel like because you were so in-depth, you answered any question that I possibly could have had. So, and plus any question I would have may not be part that was thought of as you were putting this together because this is such a high level pitch, right? So,
right.
We're at EA.
I'm not going to ask you about downloadable content or anything like that or any other really nitty-gritty things because I think you all covered all the things that I would need to make my decisions based on each of the categories, which I have all of the scores written down in front of me.
Right.
So,
is there any flaws in our games, like in the way like something might operate? Like you think like something?
I'll give that during my when I give the scores for each section. I'll tell you why I gave it what I did.
Okay.
Sweet.
Now I think you got to tear each other apart for 20 seconds. Is that right?
Oh, that's right. Okay, go on ahead, Josiah. You're the host.
Let me start a timer.
All right.
So we each have 20 seconds to explain why ours is better.
Let me crack my bones a little bit.
Now,
here.
don't just go off and say your game is stupid because that has no factual. No. It's not gonna, But give me some evidence, But if you don't have any, if you can't think of any, just say your game is stupid. I'll understand that.
And you only have 20 seconds, so make it short.
Yeah, that's not much.
That's why I made it so short, because I don't know what to say.
Make it 30, man.
No.
Nope.
Gosh. All right.
Wait till I say go.
Okay.
Or wait till I say my first thing, I guess.
I'll press it whenever you start talking.
This is so hard.
just think.
Okay. You ready, Daniel?
Ready.
All right. Ready?
All right.
Okay. Brad, first off, my online content is way better and more expansive. All right. It's funner because I could go around and just do whatever the crap I wanted. I don't have to go into a game lobby and just wait there for team deathmatch. Second, how many seconds do I have left?
Keep going.
Okay. I'd rather play one story mode that has a actual... Dang it.
I hope that didn't hurt any listeners' ears. So
I'm not going to finish my sentence because I'm sticking to the buzzer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to stop.
Yeah, one second. Let me gather my thoughts here.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, because you only have 20 seconds.
Halfway through, I was like, "Wait, is this about to be over? Should I even start my next point?"
I don't know. Hold on. Let me think.
Take your time.
Yeah, Josiah didn't get a whole lot of time before he had to start his, so I think Brad, you should have to start pretty soon.
That's true. I'll give you
all right.
5 seconds.
Go.
Ready and go.
Everybody has their parent die. in the single player content. That thing has been beaten around the bush in almost every Star Wars movie and stuff like that. Anakin has no parents. Luke has no uncle, aunt, and stuff like that. Everybody always dies. Their parent figure always dies and stuff. Another thing is everybody's now going to the open world deal. Everybody is and stuff. I kind of want the old school stuff. Stop. Boom. Yes. I got it.
I'm not gonna give a rebuttal, but
nope.
I have a rebuttal.
You have a rebuttal on what? On what?
Nope.
Something I said?
Yeah, but I'm not because
we could do this all day.
I know.
Yeah.
Definitely you all could.
But props to you, Josiah. That is a not bad game. I was expecting a little bit actually worse because you kept on texting me over and over again saying, this is horrible, this is horrible.
Yeah,
I thought I had this in the bag because you made me feel so good.
Strategy, baby. Strategy.
Oh, shut it. You're no Grand Admiral Thrawn.
No. No, your game's good too, Brad.
All right, thank you.
All right. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
I think so.
All right, I'm ready to lay down the hammer here for the judging.
Are you doing?
I'm going to do it by category.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So each one is from 1 to 10, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So let's start with title. If you could remind me your all's titles.
You first.
Star Wars Rogue Warrior.
Okay, Brad.
Star Wars Imperial Ranks.
So I will say I liked Brad's title better. I'll give Brad a 7 on title.
Yes.
I'll give Josiah a 5 on title.
Okay. Keep track of these because I'm not.
And I'll give you my short answers why. There's 95,000 games out there that just are called something Warrior or just have Warrior in it.
That hurts.
So a little bit more creativity there would be nice. But I did like the name of Brad's. Brad won. The reason it obviously didn't get to a 10, but it's a good name because it makes you ask the question, well, what do you do, right? With a Rogue Warrior, you just assume you're just going to run and gun, but you actually are curious, what am I going to do here, which might lead someone to really seek it out a little bit more. I don't know how I feel about it being Imperial only, but that's not necessarily related to the title of the game as much as it is the gameplay itself.
Gotcha. Well, the single player is only Empire. You can be Rebel in multiplayer, but single player is only Empire.
Hey, don't sass the judge.
Yeah. Shut up, Brad.
Oh, I was just
Listen, I'll tell you this much.
I was just clarifying.
I came in knowing that title was awful. You should have heard my other titles.
That will be in the bloopers section whenever this thing's over with.
Josiah, I wasn't expecting you to use Rogue because that's in the upcoming movie as well.
Right, but really I couldn't think of anything else. I'm sorry. It's just
yeah. So, but again, Brad, you win on title. You're up 7-5 at this point. Okay.
All right.
Creativity is the next level. Josiah, I gave you a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you a 6 on creativity based on the story style and just kind of the overall description that you gave me. So in terms of creativity, I gave you a 6, but I'll explain more what I ranked you on story and multiplayer after we go through Brad's. Brad, I gave you an 8 on your creativity. There's not a lot of games out here like this to where you work your way up the ranks and then you actually command the groups below. And I think it would be really interesting to see what that would look like, not necessarily even in just Star Wars, but in any type of military-based game. It reminds me a little bit of MAG.
I remember that.
However, this is part of a story as much as it is online, and MAG was purely online. So
right.
I think that'd be cool to work your way up, and have other people's lives in your hands. So I think that's a really interesting and creative concept. So that's where I sit on creativity. So at this point, Brad, you're at 15. Josiah, you're at 11. Okay.
That's still close. Still close. I think you're about to win on single player too. Dang it.
Hang on. Story mode and campaign mode. I gave each of you an 8.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Now here's why. So while I don't like Josiah's lack of creativity, he had a solid story and solid single-player mode. I like where it goes. It's got good direction. And, that's something we needed in a good Star Wars game. We need a good campaign mode. We need a good story mode. Brad, I also like yours because it goes with your name. It talks about what you'd be doing. And you'd have the opportunity to come from different angles, as a different type of trooper and things like that. But at the end of the day, I like both of your campaign modes. I like the stories behind them. While, yes, Brad, it has been done before, it does have elements of things that have not been done before, just like yours. Yours has elements of things that have been done before, where you play multiple character personalities over time. But, there's things that are very unique to yours as well. So you tie on story, okay? So at this point, Brad, I believe you're at 24. Is that right? No, wait, 16 plus 7.
I had 15. It was 15 to 11.
So you're 23 right now.
23. I'm not going to screw you.
Josiah,
Thank you.
You've now up to 19. So you're maintaining the 4 gap, Brad, as we go into multiplayer.
I feel like I'm
multiplayer mode. Josiah, I gave you a 9.
Oh!
Yes.
Oh!
All right.
Oh!
I would play your multiplayer all day and twice on Sundays, okay? Brad, I gave you a 6 on your multiplayer.
I understand.
It's close.
You had
That hurts.
way too many moving parts, way too many options that you're going to spread people out so far that people are going to get overwhelmed with it. While I liked the overall concept, at the end of the day, it's which one would I play online more? Definitely Josiah's open environment. When he's talking about like a Grand Theft Auto style, like a Destiny style, like a Red Dead Redemption style, that makes sense for a Star Wars. That makes sense for a Star Wars universe, and I'm thinking specifically at Star Wars, right? Mm-hmm. Because what everybody wants is the ability to explore the universe, and not be stuck. Battlefront is death matches. Battlefront is just combat. You don't have to do combat in Josiah's form. So Josiah, you brought it within 1 as we go into the category of fun. So Brad, you're up 29 to 28.
You're gonna win.
How are you? How are you feeling, you two?
I'd feel really bad because your fun factor has a lot to do with your multiplayer, and that's why I feel like he's about ready to take this after I've been in the lead for this long.
I don't think so.
So what do you think, Josiah?
I think I'm gonna lose.
You think you're okay?
We both think we're gonna lose.
In fun, I gave you both the same score.
Oh, yes.
And I gave you both a 7. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Josiah, I liked your multiplayer better. Okay. I liked your story the same, but what gave Brad a 7 as well is the unique idea of working in ranks. I think that's really cool. So I think that would be fun, and I don't think you'd get tired of it very easily. At least in the single player mode, I would find myself playing single player over multiplayer. But it doesn't mean that they're not equally fun. They're equally fun in their different formats. I would play Josiah's multiplayer, but I'd play your campaign. So at the end of the day, Josiah, your crappy title really hurts you.
Yeah, no. Dude, I had so many options, and then I looked it up. I was like, oh, that's already a title in a Star Wars book or a title in a Star Wars video game.
I don't think a book would have mattered.
Well, I didn't want to title it the same as a book.
Well, I bet you anything mine might be a book. I didn't even look at that.
Well, I made the mistake of not going for it.
Mm.
So at the end of the day, Brad, you won by 1. You squeaked by.
Good job,
but at the end of the day, I was really impressed, and I think this is a good inaugural Pitch Wars. I think this was very good. I really enjoyed it.
This is
a great segment to do on off weeks or slow weeks like this.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Yeah, and it was a good battle. I enjoyed listening to it, and I enjoyed getting to judge it because there was actually something worth judging here. So you guys, commend yourselves for that, and that's all I got on this.
All right,
fellas. I'm going to jump off here. Thanks for letting me join in this evening. You all have fun doing the rest of the podcast.
All right. Thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely.
All right. So since we went in for 20 seconds, we did battle for 20 seconds and just destroyed each other's, game for the most part. Right. I mean, we kind of failed at that because it was hard.
It was only 20 seconds, man.
But you get the idea. So what I want to do really quick before we, end this thing is I want to go back and actually I want to talk about what was really good about what I loved about your stuff, and you tell me the same thing about my game.
All right. You're the host. Go for it.
All right. The thing I really loved about your game was that first off it introduces or it ties together stuff from Rebels and even the books, because you would have you read any of the new novels?
No, not yet.
No,
I want to.
Right. See, if you would have pulled characters from that novel, from like Lost Stars or Aftermath.
I wish I could have.
Or Bloodline or something like that, I would have been on board all the way, because I'd love to see a character from those books get a video game and more explore, because especially in Lost Stars, it's the story about, it's like a love story sort of. It's a young adult novel, which sounds really stupid for Star Wars, but it works perfectly. It's like this these two kids who grow up and they both join the Empire, and they're like the best, in their class kind of things, and and you go through in the book. What I really like about the book is you go through and you see where they were when the first Death Star exploded, where they were when Battle of Hoth happened, where they were when the second Death Star, and even it ends with the Battle of Jakku, leading up to Episode 7. Right. And what I really liked about that book is you get it makes the Empire feel not awful. Like they're still awful, but it shows that people are actually still good in the Empire.
It's actually their chain of command. Like their highest up ones
higher ups are really bad.
Really bad ones.
And then when you go down the scale, the low people are just they're doing what they think is right. They think this is a good fight. All they've been told about the rebellion is that they're terrorists.
Right. And actually, some of the things that the Empire does on certain planets is actually very good.
Yeah, I mean
they do good things.
They do good things.
Overall, they do it in a bad way. They do good things in a bad way.
It's like if the Nazis, how they had all the concentration camps, but they also probably fed people, which is a very bad analogy because they're evil. But that's what the Empire is.
Okay, let me give you a better analogy with the Nazis.
Let me fix that.
Okay.
Let me fix what I mean by that is the people in Germany only see the good parts of the Nazis.
Right.
Or at one point probably did.
Right.
They see them being good. They don't see the concentration camps, and they don't believe it. Well, after it happens, they don't believe it. They're like, no, it's a lie that somebody else made up. Right. It's just like the Empire. They're doing all these terrible things, but they're also doing good things,
Right.
So I think what was hard in pitching these things is I would like to see a story focused on these characters, and it's hard to go in depth of the story mode.
Right.
Because you're just pitching an idea. You can't go into okay, in this level you explore this, and this level she deals with this, and
Right. I wasn't able to go in that in detail.
Right. You can't because it's just a pitch.
Because it's just a pitch and stuff like that. I mean, if I would have known those characters, I probably would have threw them in and stuff like that. Now, your thing with the Nazi thing and stuff like that. One of the things that actually is interesting about the Nazis, because I love history and stuff. So many things that we know about medicine and health
because
of them.
The awful things they did to do that.
Awful things they did to people. They cut out people's hearts.
They did tests on people.
But now we know how to do heart transplants and how long a person can survive without their heart for so long. So you know how long you need to get the surgery done. I mean, it's some crazy stuff and everything. And also, something interesting about history is always told by the victors.
Yeah.
Think about that. So, the victors always seem like they're the good guys. If you think about the Star Wars movies, which side is it being told by? The rebels. Right. So obviously they look so great. They look so awesome. Right?
And what I like about the book Lost Stars, I know I keep coming back to this, but I just read it.
It's a good example. I mean, people need to buy this book.
Right.
It's probably a good book.
What happens in the book is one character eventually is on the rebellion. Defects to the rebellion. One character is still in the Empire, and they have these conversations where it's like, well, your people blew up Alderaan, and then the other girl is like, well, your people blew up the Death Star, which had millions of innocent lives on it, and it's like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, there's people on the Death Star who just blew up and died.
I have that book. My girlfriend got it for me for Christmas. I haven't
Dude,
read
it's
it
a
yet.
great book.
Okay,
It's even
Lauren,
better.
if you're listening to this, I am so sorry. I have read it. I have read it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. It's a great book. You should read it. See, what I do is I cheat Audible. Do you listen?
I do Audible all the time. I really do.
Here's my new thing, all right? I'm going to tell you the secret to cheating Audible, okay? First off, get a fake email, all right? And
You do the month thing, don't you?
here's the thing. You get 1 credit if you join, right? 1 free credit. You put in your credit card, you get 1 free credit. You buy a book, then you go to cancel your membership, all right? When you're canceling your membership, it asks for a reason. Like, why are you canceling? You hit, it's too expensive. And it takes you to the next page, and it tries to talk you out of it. And it either lessens your monthly payment, it cuts it in half, like you can choose to that. You can, instead of paying $15 a month, you can pay $7 because they don't want you to leave. Or you can get an extra credit. And so I hit that button, hit confirm, and it's like, oh, yay, we keep you. You get an extra credit. And then you're like, all right, I'm going to go buy a book. You buy a second book, right? Then you cancel your membership for real. Then you read those 2. Once you're done with that, new email, same thing, 2 more credits. See, I've gotten like 6 books so far from doing that.
If the FBI is listening, I am not a part of this. It is all Josiah.
And the thing is, you get to keep the book forever as soon as you buy it. So it's not like...
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I don't know if my phone can hold all that. Is it on your phone or on your computer?
It's on my phone, but I don't download it until I'm ready to read it. So if you download the Audible app, sign in with the email you use, there's your books. You can download each one and then delete them off your device.
You realize that you're teaching your viewers or your listeners how to steal, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
I don't know what... This is a big tangent. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Force Sports encourages stealing, everybody. We encourage stealing.
Only from Audible, mainly because they're not like a supporter of us, so who gives a crap? They're not a sponsor.
Yeah. There's no logo on our back of them.
Yeah. So, go ahead. Fuel my ego. Tell me what you liked about my game.
Even though I tried to hamper on you about everybody's going to the open world thing.
Here's what I want to say. As a rebuttal, I wanted to say, first off, like, the whole parents thing, I don't even know why I put that in there because it didn't matter. Like, that has
nothing... didn't matter, but I was going to call you out on
it. You had to, right?
Oh, yeah, I had nothing.
Because, like, I was writing, I was like, okay, let me just start off on my brainstorm. Okay, a character, their parents died. And then I'm like, all right. And then I did all this, I wrote the whole paragraph, and then I was like...
That needs to be taken out. I will tell you that.
I forgot to delete that part where it was just, like, me brainstorming because
that's reading off your phone.
I had a little summary. Yeah, I read the summary. Yeah. But the also thing, what you were about to say about the open world is... I should have, if we could have rebutted, I would have just said, I don't care how many people do it. It's freaking fun.
It is. It is very much fun. I mean, it's a real big thing that's coming up, and it's kind of getting a little bit saturated, but yet it's been saturated, but with bad examples.
And not in the Star Wars universe.
Right, exactly, and everything stuff. Everybody wants to be in the Star Wars universe and stuff like that. And I like Destiny. I play Destiny. I like Destiny. Does it get annoying? Oh, heck yes.
Yeah.
Because that open world is bland. It's pretty bland. And the thing is, though, your statement, like, yes, your pitch sounds great. Okay? Your game could sound great and everything and stuff. My game could sound great and stuff. But to actually execute the open world concept properly takes a lot, and it can actually bring down your game quite a bit. Now, we're just going off to perfection here in my head, like perfection, open world. Right. You know, your game would be amazing. It really would and stuff. Now, the multiplayer was amazing. Like, being able to travel from planet to planet with your own starfighter, buy a starfighter, all that stuff and everything.
Yeah.
That is awesome. That really is. I mean, I loved your multiplayer and stuff. Being able to take out outposts and stuff like that, you know, try to take over an Empire-controlled planet and stuff like that. Maybe you could also be an Empire person. Or is it just only Rebel?
Online, it could be both.
It could be both?
Yes, you get to pick your side. I forgot to even say that.
Oh, if you would have said that, I bet you would have won.
No, probably not.
Yeah, you would have.
No, because I still beat you on multiplayer.
Yeah, but see, you had a 9 on multiplayer. You would have had then a 10.
Yeah.
And then we would have been tied.
I don't think he would have given it out of 10.
If he would have given out I don't know, Daniel is pretty hard.
I wouldn't give out of 10 to anybody.
Daniel's pretty tough. Yeah, you're right. You got a point on that. Oh, I guess it wouldn't have mattered. If it was an 8, it would have run up to a 9, but since it was already a 9, so yeah. But I mean, the multiplayer was awesome. Single player open world is a hard thing to do, And I even seen that example from Destiny, how they try to do single player open world. And it doesn't work very well. But your story was awesome. And being able to end at the Battle of Hoth, that was spot on.
Yeah.
That I liked a lot.
I like the idea of the Death Star being destroyed and like you can't get in touch with the rebellion because they're secretive. Like they don't allow a lot of people in there because an Empire guy can go in there and kill everybody.
That's like a good like midway point and stuff like that. Whenever you finally join them, and then you have a couple of missions where you're with the rebellion for a little bit, so that way you get to like be with them too.
Yeah, I like the idea that you are so driven to join the rebellion, but you can't because you can't get in contact with them. So you're like, well, screw it. I'm just going to start my own rebellion on my planet. I just like that idea. I thought it was really cool.
Well, can I add this onto my game, even though Daniel's not here and we wasn't able to say
And you already won, but go ahead.
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead.
One of the story things I was actually liking was one of the story modes. I should probably went in depth on this, but I didn't have much time. You know, we got time now and stuff because he had to get off. But, like, whenever you're a part of one of the squads, some of them actually defect right before your eyes, and actually you have a choice to actually join them or not. Some of the characters and everything stuff, you're kind of like on a rail system where you end up joining anyways and stuff, and it gives like a really good story. Or you have the choice to, or you're like, no, dude, you're about to leave everything stuff. You're a traitor, and you actually have to maybe kill your own squad mates.
I like that idea. Yeah.
You know, that'd be pretty cool to have and stuff. Yeah. But I wasn't able to. I should have remembered that.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, you still won, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll finish off the show.
Yep.
Thank you guys for joining us. This was episode 14 of the Force Sports Podcast. You can check us out on Twitter at Force Sports Pod. You can send us a question there if you want, or email us at forcesportspod@gmail.com if you want. Also, check out our website, forcesports.org. And I guess that'll be it. Brad, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for Daniel for coming on. He already left, but thank you, Daniel.
Yep. He had to go. He was busy.
He had to go, but
he was a good judge, though.
Oh, he was great.
That was really awesome. Good. He was quiet whenever we was talking and stuff because we was actually helping each other while we're idiots.
I know. It was just so fun to have a conversation. I was like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a good thing to have. Good segment to have.
Yeah. We'll definitely bring it back. Probably
maybe with some sports stuff, like we come up with like a sports movie.
It's a good idea.
For Rob and Daniel, that should be the next one. Yeah. That's the idea. That's a good one.
Yeah, that'll definitely
movie sports with Rob and Daniel versus each other.
Yeah, sports movie, or a new sport. I don't know. These are terrible ideas, but anyways.
Not new sport. Oh, if we do a new sport, that'd be like taking over the random sport of the week. Maybe.
I sent Daniel a random sport of the week today, and it's insane.
Is it really? You have to tell me after this thing's over with.
I don't even know if it even counts as a real sport. It's so crazy and stupid.
Oh, I'm gonna love it.
But I saw a thing on Facebook of them people doing it, and I was like, "This is real? Is this fake?" It's in China. So,
China? Yeah. Oh no.
I think it was China.
Oh no. This might be bad.
All right. Well, let's close out the show. Thank you guys for listening today, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
See y'all later.